Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to historic Pheno Field for tonight's American Legion baseball game between Maine South and our very own Milford Post 59 American Legion Baseball Club. The starting lineups for tonight's game. First for the Maine South team is number 2, center fielder Ryan Flanagan. Batting second, number 18, the DH, Cooper LeBlanc. Batting third, number 3, the catcher, Braden McLaughlin. Batting fourth, number 38, left field, Emilio Silva Rosa. Batting fifth, number 9, the shortstop, Jack Beauregard. Batting sixth, number 21, first baseman, Stephen Hebert. Batting seventh, number 19, second baseman, Cam Fenner. Batting eighth, number 12, the third baseman, Braden Allaire. Batting ninth, number 41, right fielder, Owen Cooney. And the pitcher for tonight is number 12, Brady Fenner. Now, for your Milford Legion Baseball Club, starting lineup is our number 9, the right fielder, Nick Koch. Batting second, number 3, third baseman, Sean McGee. Batting third, number 20, catcher, Keith Lee. Batting fourth, our DH, number 13, Damian Carter. Batting fifth, number 17, shortstop, Joey McGee. Batting sixth, number 2, left fielder, Jack Krause. Batting seventh, number 14, our first baseman, Sean Bouchard. Batting eighth, number 7, second baseman, Eli Sylvia. Batting ninth, number 6, center fielder, Brad Andriola. And pitching this evening for Milford is number 8, Josh Giancola.
Ladies and gentlemen, our friend Steve Basignani was an amateur photographer who for many years voluntarily photographed our Milford Legion players in action. Because of Steve's efforts, the long and storied tradition of Milford Legion baseball will be here for many years to come. He captured precious moments that our players will have forever. Unfortunately, earlier this year, we lost our good friend, which was a huge loss to Milford Legion. On behalf of our coaches, our team, and our board of directors, we would like to honor Steve's family by dedicating tonight's game to Steve. When I talked to Judy recently, I asked her what Steve's favorite foods were. She mentioned pasta with red sauce. So before it's all gone, please make your way over to the concession stand as we have a Leave This Pasta with meatballs and red sauce in honor of Steve for tonight's game. Now I'd like to turn to Judy. Judy, please a token appreciation and commitment to our local youth and Milford Legion baseball, presented by Linda Catanzariti of the Board of Directors. Now if I can ask everyone to please join me in a moment of silence as we honor and remember our good friend Steve. Thank you. For our national anthem, we are joined by Carolyn Chaplin, who worked with Steve at Hopedale High School. Carolyn? Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight sons. And ladies and gentlemen, Judy Bassignani.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome once again inside Pheno Field here in Milford, as Milford TV is happy to bring you coverage of Milford Legion Baseball, presented by the Rail Trail Flatbread Company. I am Milford TV Executive Director Tim Coet, starting off this week with another edition of Milford Legion Baseball for you. Milford comes into this matchup this evening 1-0 on the season. They've only played one so far. It was the game we covered for you back last Thursday evening as Milford opened their season with a 12-2 Mercy Rule win over Eastside. So game number 2 on the docket here tonight as Milford welcomes in Maine South, post 341. Maine South comes into the matchup today with an overall record of 1-2. Milford already out there as we get close to game time. And so we'll set the tone for you here tonight by bringing you tonight's starting lineups. We will begin with the visiting starting lineup, Maine South, post 341. Leading it off is their center fielder, Ryan Flanagan. Batting second is the designated hitter, Cooper LeBlanc, with Braden McLaughlin catching and batting third. Emilio Silva Rosa plays left field and bats cleanup, with Jack Beauregard, the shortstop, batting fifth. Stephen Hebert, the first baseman, bats sixth, with Cam Fenner, the second baseman, batting seventh. Braden Allaire plays third base and bats eighth, and in the ninth spot is the right fielder, Owen Cooney. And for the for Milford post 59, their starting lineup looks like this. Nick Koch, the right fielder, leads it off. Sean McGee, the third baseman, bats second. Keith Lee catches and bats third, with Damian Carter, the designated hitter, batting cleanup. Joey McGee is the shortstop, batting fifth, with Jack Krause playing left field today, batting sixth. Sean Burchard is the first baseman, batting seventh, with Eli Sylvia getting the start at second base tonight, batting eighth. And in the ninth spot is the center fielder, Brad Andriola. And your pitching matchup in this one Brady Fenner will toe the rubber for Maine South, and out there getting ready to get this game started for Post 59 is Josh Giancola. So the first-year Post 59 player out of Nipmuc Regional High School. He got his first game under his belt with Post 59 in the lineup on Thursday against Eastside, and now gets the start on the mound and ready to get this game going as Ryan Flanagan stands in on the right side at home plate. And the first pitch of the ball game, this is high for ball one. Once again, happy to be live with you across our Milford TV platforms. We're live locally on our Milford TV educational channel, as well as our Verizon High Definition channel, and streaming anywhere, anytime on our YouTube channel. Another very nice night for baseball here in the Milford area. One last cool spring night before some big-time heat starts to make its way into the area. We expect temperatures well over 90 degrees for the next several days. So the fans coming out to Fino tonight enjoying some nice comfortable conditions, a light breeze keeping things cool. Here comes a 1-2 pitch, and it's waved at and missed for strike three. So Flanagan goes down swinging, first out of the ball game. Defensively for Post 59, it is Keith Lee behind the plate, Sean McGee at third, Joey McGee at short, Eli Sylvia at second, and Sean Burchard at first. Left to right in the outfield, Jack Krause, Brad Andriola, and Nick Koch. Meanwhile, Cooper LeBlanc stands in to face Giancola with one out and the bases empty. And a fastball that pops in and out of Keith Lee's mitt for ball one. Keith got the start at DH in Milford's win against Eastside last week, but now back behind the plate in his familiar position. 1-0 pitch, and this is driven in the air out towards center field. This sends Andriola backing up. Now settles underneath, makes the catch. And that is out number two. Pre-game ceremony here prior to the start of this game tonight, honoring the family and loved ones of the late Steve Bassignani, who passed away earlier this year after a battle with illness. Steve was such a great supporter of young athletes throughout this area. You could always see Steve around the fields really all year long for the high school teams and for this Legion program as well, taking great photos. Always with his Hopedale cap on, and he will certainly be missed. That's a nice tribute to Steve prior to the start of the game tonight. A 1-ball, 1-strike count now on Braden McLaughlin, the Maine South catcher, who bats with 2 outs and the bases empty. Tall right-hander on the mound, and Giancola, here's his pitch, and that misses downstairs. Fans still trickling their way in here to Fino Field, including fans of Maine South who made the trip out from Worcester. 2-1 pitch, and it's a chopper hit towards third, but that's a foul ball. So Milford, as it turns out, opening up the season with back-to-back Worcester opponents, the Mercy Rule win against Eastside last week. The original schedule had Milford traveling to Northborough at the end of last week with a game against North County over the weekend, but both of those games were displaced on the schedule. Some heavy rain in the afternoon on Friday, no doubt wreaking havoc on the potential Legion schedule. So we'll get some updated dates on our schedule. As always, the start of the Legion season can be very choppy with a lot of things causing complications. So this is just game number 2 on the season for Milford, as this 2-2 pitch is hit on the ground on one big bounce to Sylvia at second base. Gets the throw over to first in time to finish off a nice and easy 1-2-3 top half of the first inning. Scoreless. Post 59 will take their first swings of the game when we come back next on this coverage of Milford Legion baseball here on Milford TV, presented by Rail Trail. Home half of the first inning, Nick Koch settling in at the plate to face the Maine South starter, Brady Fenner. This ball chopped on the ground over towards second base, and a high throw gets away from the first baseman and will roll into the Milford dugout. That should allow Koch to advance to second base. Right now, remaining at first, as it looks like Koch might be injured now. Maybe stumbled awkwardly across that first base bag. Coach Wynn checking on him, now Coach DeVito over there as well. And so we always have the benefit of the delay here at field level to take a look back at our live stream feed, and you could see indeed that Koch tripped across the bag as his momentum carried him across and then fell awkwardly, and now it looks like he will try and walk this out. They should eventually give Koch second base, as that ball did roll into the first base dugout, but right now the concern for what looks to be the right leg of Nick Koch. Milford got some bad news on the injury front in between their first game of the season and today, as unfortunately Milford will be without the services of one of their Milford High School players, as Louis Consigli is dealing with a health issue that unfortunately will take him out of the mix for the remainder of this season. And so that's certainly a loss here early on in the year. Louis, a veteran on this Legion roster, as well as a terrific high school player. So Eli Sylvia getting the nod at second base tonight, and Milford's depth will be tested here as they will play with 17 for the remainder of the season. The good news here is that Nick Koch appears to be okay after that stumble and is indeed now down at second base. And so immediately a runner in scoring position as this ball comes in hot, deflects off the glove of the catcher, and Koch will trot on to third, as that pitch was well up and out of the strike zone to Sean McGee. That should go as a straight E4 on that play that allowed Koch to reach. He would have been out with a good throw. As this ball is now ripped down the line in left field, that's a fair ball, and an easy run will cross the plate as Koch scores. McGee now digging for second base. He slides in safely. It is an RBI double for Sean McGee. Moved up in the lineup and continues to produce. Gets Milford on the scoreboard here very quickly into this one. It is 1-0. It took Milford a few innings to start to get the offense rolling against Eastside last Thursday. As a matter of fact, they trailed in the game 2-0 after the third inning, but the offense kicked into gear from there as they ended up scoring 12 unanswered runs to finish off the game in 6 innings. Take an early 1-0 lead here, as Keith Lee rips this ball foul down the left field line. It's an 0-2 count on Lee, batting out of the number 3 spot. Batting with Sean McGee at second base, no outs and a run home. And Lee able to hold up on the swing. Even down in the count, Lee, with such a keen awareness of the strike zone, he's always been such a patient hitter. It's been one of his strong offensive traits throughout his career. Here he sends one in the air out to left field, hangs up long enough for the catch to be made. The throw back in from left goes whizzing past second base, but it's backed up as McGee will hold at second base with now 1 down. Damian Carter with a big swing and a miss. down to second base. As the pitch comes in, it's carved foul. Less breeze here tonight than last week against Eastside. Pretty blustery evening there overall. Damian Carter was part of the offensive outburst in that game, had a 2-run single to help continue to pad the Milford lead. Down in an 0-2 count as he watches that pitch miss outside. Sean McGee walking out to a lead at second base, the uniform already coated in dirt. And the 1-2 pitch, that misses low. Milford breaking out the retro navy uniform tops for this game tonight, with Milford in gold across the chest. 2-2 pitch as the runner takes off. It misses outside. Throw down is a good one, and McGee is out. Excellent throw from Braden McLaughlin behind the plate to cut down McGee. And there are 2 outs now in this first inning. It's a 3-2 count on Carter. And now this ball is stung in the air out to left field, continuing to travel, but Emilio Silva Rosa, who was busy in that inning, makes a nice jogging catch for the out that ends the inning. And so Milford able to get a run, but the rally quickly fizzles out from there. But after an inning of play, it is a 1-0 lead for Post 59 over Maine South Post 341 on this coverage of Milford Legion Baseball here on Milford TV, presented by Rail Trail.
We thank you for your support. Don't forget to go to concession for some great food tonight. We have pasta and meatballs, all kinds of candy, and all sorts of treats over there. So head on over to that concession stand. Help support Milford Legion Baseball. Thank you. Now batting for Maine South is the left fielder, number 38, Emilio Silva Rosa.
A 1-0 lead for Milford as we begin the top half of the second inning. And first pitch swinging, Emilio Silva Rosa sends one to the opposite field out and right. But Nick Koch lined up to make the catch. 1 pitch and 1 out in the top of the second inning.
Now batting a shortstop, number 9.
And that will bring up Jack Beauregard, the Maine South shortstop. Josh Giancola with his first pitch to Beauregard, and this one is sent in the air out to shallow center field, and a sliding catch is made out there by Brad Andriola. Off the bat, it looked like that ball would drop down for a hit, but Andriola with a great jump and sliding feet first into the gap in left center field, able to make a terrific catch to rob Beauregard of a hit. And there are 2 outs in the inning. now Stephen Hebert taking the first pitch as he saw his two teammates swing at the first pitch in each of their at-bats to collect 2 fast outs. And now a 2-ball, no-strike count on the Maine South first baseman. I'm sure a lot of Milford High School fans have been wondering, after Nick Koch played so well in center field, to see a new face patrolling that position with the Legion team with Koch in right field, but Brad Andriola giving you a taste of his defensive abilities, robbing Beauregard on that sinking line drive. Nick Koch also making a good catch of his own in right field to start off this inning. Unfortunately, Joey McGee with a little bit of trouble on that grounder off the bat of Hebert. Looks like he tried to play it on the backhand and it ended up skipping off of his glove, allowing Hebert to reach. As now this ball is cued foul down the first base line off the bat of Cam Fenner. So it's the first Maine South base runner coming with 2 outs in the second inning. We'll put that in the books as an E6. A 1 pitch now to Fenner is fought off. Looped down the right field line in foul territory, and a full out dive for Eli Sylvia, who came up just short. Right now, everyone trying to make the impossible catch out there in this inning. Not sure if perhaps Maine South was trying to make the case that that ball landed in fair territory. It was well foul, or perhaps if when Sylvia went into the dive, some part of him was still in fair territory as he made contact with the ball. But either way, ruled a foul ball. It's an 0-2 count. Everyone resets as Fenner sends a line drive foul to the backstop. Still a little bit of sunlight filtering across the infield here as we get to 7:20 in the evening. Another 0-2 pitch and a grounder back up the middle past the mound, but backed up at second base by McGee, who taps the second base bag for the force play that ends the inning. So the error proves to be harmless. An inning and a half now done here at Fino Field. It remains Milford 1, Maine South nothing. Stay tuned to this coverage of Milford Legion Baseball here on Milford TV, presented by the Rail Trail Flatbread Company.
Sons of Italy, Dramatic Sportsman's Club, Wyland Julian Oil Service, Italian American War Veterans, Shooting Star Photography, Unibank, Pepper and Cheney's Rail Trail Flatbread Company. Our diamond sponsors, Frank's Appliance Service Incorporated and Milford Federal Bank. We thank you for your generous support. Doing live play-by-play tonight on 101.3 MyFM is John Wilbur. He's been broadcasting Milford Legion Baseball since 1955. Milford Legion Baseball sincerely thanks you for 69 years of great support to Milford Legion Baseball in the town of Milford. Now batting, number 17, our shortstop, Joey McGee.
Milford back at the plate, leading this game 1-0. Bottom of the second inning about to begin. And Joey McGee takes a look at ball 1 inside. Second inning of work now for the Maine South starting pitcher, Brady Fenner. As McGee now lifts a fly ball out to shallow left field. Shortstop out on the outfield grass, able to make the catch for out number 1. The defensive alignment for post 341, it is Braden McLaughlin behind the plate, Braden Allaire at third, Jack Beauregard at short, Cam Fenner at second, and Stephen Hebert at first. Left to right in the outfield, Emilio Silva Rosa, Ryan Flanagan, and Owen Cooney. As Jack Krause sprays a foul ball for strike 1. Krause got the start behind the dish against Eastside last Thursday, now getting the nod in left field here tonight, as again, I'm sure that Coach DeVito is going to start to reassess his depth chart now with the loss of Louis Consigli for the remainder of the season. If you happen to just be tuning in, unfortunately, Louis with an injury that will take him out of the mix for the remainder of this Legion baseball season. As this ball is hit on the ground to third base, Allaire able to play it cleanly. And a good throw over to first base retires Krause for out number 2. 5-3 on the ground out.
Now batting first baseman, number 14, Sean Burchard.
It was an error last inning that opened the door for the run that post 59 scored. Nick Koch reaching on an error by the second baseman. That was compounded as the ball rolled into the Milford dugout, allowing Koch to advance into scoring position. Wild pitch ended up getting Koch to third, and he would score on the RBI double by Sean McGee. Our only run thus far. As Sean Burchard jumps ahead in the count, 3 balls and no strikes. Bases empty with 2 outs in the home half of the second inning. Burchard taking all the way, takes a strike. And now swings at this one and loops it through for a base hit. That just snuck by the shortstop. Burchard has the second Milford hit. Gives Milford a 2-out base runner, and will give Eli Sylvia the chance to take his first at bat of this 2024 Legion season. And he swings at the first pitch. He'll line that one over the reach of the shortstop out into left center field, and another tumble across the bases, this time for Sean Burchard. Able to get back up and right back on the second base bag. Looks to be fine, but strange to see that happen twice now. Burchard was looking to round that second base bag, just slipped. Able to get right back to his feet and back to the base. Apparently some dicey footing on the bases here this evening. Runners at first and second base now for Milford, 2 outs. And Brad Andriola now at the plate after he made an outstanding catch to rob a hit in the top half of this inning. Pitch, that is down in the dirt. Snap throw down to second, and Burchard just does get back to the bag. He's a little bit casual there. But able to get back on the bag, and base running continues to be a bit adventurous through these early innings. 2-1 pitch now is dribbled down to third base, and Maine South will go the short route to get the force play at third for the out. That retires the side, so Milford grabs a couple of 2-out base runners, but they cannot score. And after 2, it is still 1-0 Milford on this coverage of Milford Legion Baseball here on Milford TV, presented by the Rail Trail Flatbread Company. still a 1-0 Milford lead now in the top of the third inning. Josh Giancola fires in strike one to the number 8 hitter in the Maine South lineup, Braden Allaire. He'll be followed by Owen Cooney and then the leadoff man, Ryan Flanagan. Jumps ahead now 0-2. The head coach and manager of Maine South, post 341, is Mike McCarthy. Mike has been coaching this Maine South program for quite a long time. We always look forward to checking in with Coach McCarthy pregame. Always very gracious with his time, as meanwhile Giancola sets down Braden Allaire with a called strike 3. That's the second strikeout of the night for Giancola.
Now batting number 41, right fielder Owen Cooney.
That brings up Owen Cooney. That fastball gets past Cooney's bat for strike 1. We obviously covered a number of Milford High School games during the regular season, got to know the pitching staff for the Scarlet Hawks very well. We have not yet seen any of the Milford pitchers appear in these first 2 games of the season, and yet we've seen a number of plus arms. So Milford looks to really be locked and loaded on the pitcher's mound as the 0-2 offering drifts wide to Cooney. 1 ball, 2 strikes on the number 9 man. And again, Giancola misses outside. Josh, one of the younger members of this post-59 team, part of the Nipmuc class of 2026. As Cooney fights that pitch off to stay alive. Giancola, along with Sean Burchard and Joey McGee, all members of the class of 2026 for their respective schools. 2-2 pitch, and that's in for strike 3. Cooney not thrilled with the call, but he heads back to the dugout. Second K of the inning for Giancola.
Now batting number 2, center fielder Ryan.
And we'll go second time through the Maine South lineup now as Flanagan stands in for the second time. He was also a strikeout victim in his first at bat, and is granted a late timeout here by the home plate ump. Maine South has managed to get 3 games in on the young season so far. As this pitch is fouled away, evening the count at a ball and a strike. They are 1-2. Their victory came against Northborough back on June 10th, a 5-2 game. They then lost a tight one at Northbridge 5-3, and then got edged out in a slugfest at Hudson by a final score of 14-12. As we continue to get all kinds of footage of the various four-legged friends around Pheno Field here tonight. It's a 2-ball, 2-strike count to Ryan Flanagan with the bases empty and 2 away in the top of the third. Here is the pitch from Giancola, and it's stung in the air out to center field, but Andriola is there to make the catch. Finishing off another 1-2-3 inning for Josh Giancola. He's been very good so far. He's allowed just 1 base runner. And as we move on to the home half of the third inning, it remains 1-0 Milford on this coverage of Milford Legion Baseball on Milford TV, presented by Rail Trail.
Our executive sponsors are Imperial Ford, Vendetti Motors, Jamaica Foundation, Sons of Italy, Dramatic Sportsman's Club, Wiley and Julian Oil Service, Italian American War Veterans, diamond sponsors are Frank's Appliance Service and Milford Federal Bank. Our gold sponsors, American Legion Sergeant John Powers Post 59, Brazer and Mancini, Milford Permanent Firefighters Association, Consigli and Brucato DC, Clark, Cristino Cabinets and Flooring, Dr. Sam Hanna, Hoboken Citizens Club, Boucher Energy Systems Incorporated. We thank you for your generous support.
First pitch of the inning is grounded through the right side for a base hit. As this time Nick Koch stays upright as he crosses the first base bag. Nick Koch, as always, aggressively swinging early in the count and able to ground that ball past the second baseman for a leadoff hit. So Koch on base already for the second time. And now here is Sean McGee, who has driven in the game's only run to this point. Brady Fenner trying to keep Koch close. It'll be a good indicator of how good that right leg is feeling for Koch. If we see a stolen base attempt here, he is out to a big lead, doesn't go here. As the pitch is in for a called strike one to Sean McGee. Off-speed pitch. That misses low. They check to the infield umpire to see if McGee went around on the swing. They say he was able to hold up. One ball, one strike. Still have not seen an inclination to run over at first base for Koch, as the count now goes to 2-1. Fenner's next pitch, and this is carved to the opposite field. That catch is made out there and right by Owen Cooney, and Koch retreats back to the first base bag, as there is now one out in the inning.
Now batting catcher number 20, Keith Lee.
And bring up Keith Lee for the second time. Keith lined out to left field his first time up. Keith was on base 3 times in the win against Eastside, but did not have a hit in the game. He walked, he was hit by a pitch, and he reached on an error. Here, Koch takes off. The throw down to second base, not good. The ball trickles into the outfield, and another base will be taken by Koch, who winds up at third now with less than 2 outs. So that'll go as a stolen base for Koch. And then an E2 to move him on to third. The pitch was a strike into Lee. He now takes that one on the inside corner for strike 2. Lights on here at Pheno Field, sun fading now. It's now a 1-ball, 2-strike count. We start to inch closer to tip-off of Game 5 of the NBA Finals. As Lee swings and misses, he is down on strikes. First K for Brady Fenner brings the second out of the inning, with Koch remaining at third base. I have a feeling the fans here at the ballpark and maybe some of the media covering this game might have an eye towards that game, as we get deeper into the evening, we'll see how quickly the Legion action continues to move along. 8:30 is the start time for Celtics Mavericks Game 5. Damian Carter up at the plate now with 2 outs. And a 2-ball, no strike count. Trying to drive that runner in from third. Koch doing some dancing down the third base line as Carter pops this ball up out into shallow left field. Silva Rosa initially calling for it, but it is the shortstop, Jack Beauregard, who makes the catch for the out that ends the inning. So Milford able to get a runner to third base with only 1 out in the inning, but they fail to score. And at the conclusion of 3 innings of play, the score remains the same, 1-0 in favor of Milford over Maine South. Once again, you're enjoying coverage of Milford Legion baseball here on Milford TV, presented by Rail Trail.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at the Milford Legion baseball field, we do have theme nights for this season. Tonight, we paid special tribute to Steve Bassignani. On Tuesday, June 21st, on Friday, June 21st, during the day, the Taste of Legion featuring Rail Trail of Milford. On the 4th of July, we played against Framingham, is our annual Veterans Appreciation Day. We'll also be honoring the longtime Framingham coach, Bunky Smith. On July 9th against Shrewsbury, we'll have an alumni night. We invite all Milford Legion alumni to join us as guests. Also, our Taste of Legion continues with pizza from Pepperoncini's. Please see our Facebook page for our schedule, as well as our theme nights. We do have one coming up for Special Olympics with a special guest, Jake the Lion. That'll be on July 11th. And lastly, on Friday, July 12th against Hudson is our recognition for our transitioning players. We'll also be recognizing youth baseball during a home game here at Beano. At some point, we will have a date updated on our Legion Facebook page. We thank you all for your support. Now batting for Maine South is the DH, number 18, Cooper LeBlanc.
One run, 3 hits, 1 error for Milford. No runs, no hits, and 2 errors for Maine South. As first pitch swinging, this ball is driven into foul territory out to right. Nick Koch is able to make the catch and again is down on the ground. And Coach DeVito sprinting out to check on Koch. First pitch swinging, Cooper LeBlanc slicing that ball in foul ground out to right field. Koch sliding knee first into foul territory and right. Looked to go down hard on the right knee. It was the right leg that he injured, or that he looked to at least be shaken up after he tumbled across the first base bag in the first inning and now continues to be down on the ground. And obviously not a good sight here, as right now the Milford coaching staff continues to check on Koch. It looked to be more of the lower leg, or perhaps the ankle, that was bothering Koch after that trip across the first base bag in the bottom of the first inning. But right now still down with the right leg fully extended and looks to be in some pain. We'll keep the camera out wide. We don't want to show any injured players. That is always our custom on our Milford TV sports coverage. But right now, in a delay here, as Koch now starts to stir, but really looks to be in some pain. And now we have some additional personnel coming from the concession area to take a look at Koch. And definitely not a good sign for the Milford right fielder as he continues to be attended to. It looks like now the Maine South training staff will go over to see if they can lend a hand as well. So in a bit of a delay right now for injury purposes as the rest of the Milford players gather in the infield and in the outfield, certainly with concern about their teammate. And so again, if you're just joining us, in the bottom of the first inning, Nick Koch sent a ground ball to second base. And as he was racing down the line, the throw from the second baseman went up over the reach of the Maine South first baseman. And as Koch crossed the first base bag, got his feet tangled a bit, landed awkwardly, and was down for a moment or two. The coaching staff came out and checked on him. Ended up doing some jogging after the fact, looked to be okay. Has continued to stay in the game. We saw him steal a base in the bottom of the third inning, and so seemed to be okay, but now landing on that leg once again, as again we've seen Milford with maximum effort at all positions tonight defensively. We've seen a number of diving attempts, and we saw it again there with the effort from Koch deep into foul territory, sliding on that, where we've unfortunately already found out about an injury to one Milford player. Looking at the very real possibility of another injury here, and the only question now is how serious is the injury to Nick Koch. We would certainly venture a guess that Koch is going to come out of this game, and as a matter of fact, it looks like paramedics now are making their way here to Pheno Field as we see an emergency vehicle enter into the Pheno Field parking lot. And so nothing but concern now for Nick Koch, one of the many standout Milford High School players on this post-59 roster this year, just finishing up his junior season with the Scarlet Hawks as they advanced all the way to the Division II Final Four. He was a huge piece of that team, the leadoff hitter for the high school lineup as well, serving as the leadoff hitter for these first two games of this Legion baseball season. And right now, unfortunately, a really bad sight here for these fans all around Pheno Field. And regardless of which team you're a fan of, you never want to see injuries take place. You can see the concern on the Maine South players too. We have not gotten a close-up look at Nick Koch. We will certainly not show that here as well, as right now paramedics are coming out to the field. And so it looks like eventually Nick is going to be helped off of this field. And we certainly will give all of our best wishes, hoping that this is not anything too serious. But as a second emergency vehicle now approaches here at Pheno Field, it is certainly an ominous sign of the degree of injury that Nick Koch suffered. And again, suffering it as he was sacrificing his body to try to make the play there in foul territory down the right field line. We'll take a quick timeout here on the broadcast. We'll be back with more in just a moment here. Stay with the coverage here on Milford TV, presented by Rail Trail. back here in the midst of the top of the fourth inning at Pheno Field. It is Milford with a 1-0 lead, but the concern here around Pheno Field is squarely on the health of Milford's right fielder, Nick Koch, who a few minutes ago went sliding into foul territory, made an outstanding catch, but unfortunately paid the price, injuring his right leg severely enough to now be attended to by paramedics out on the field. Will continue to keep the cameras off of the situation out in right field, but Koch right now on a stretcher. You can hear the fans now giving Koch a respectful round of applause as he is now brought off and will be under the care of the Milford paramedics. And again, we just absolutely wish the very best for Nick Koch, a great kid, a great athlete, and unfortunately suffering a serious injury here tonight that will now continue to test the depth of this, what started out as an 18-player roster, down to 17 with the season-ending injury for Louis Consigli, and now we will wait to hear the long-term prognosis for Nick Koch. In the meantime, it is Tyler Ballard, another Milford name, that will head out into right field to take Koch's position. They'll give Josh Giancola an opportunity to make some warm-up tosses after a lengthy injury delay, and just hard to focus back in on the business of baseball after an injury situation like that. And you know that all of these players now will have immense concern for their teammate. Many of these players, of course, half of this roster made up of Milford High School players, but as we see each and every year, as the players from the towns across the greater Milford area come together and put the Legion uniform on, they very quickly come together as one unified team. So concern for everyone wearing the Milford uniform for their teammate Nick Koch, but we will try to focus back in now on game action as we will see Braden McLaughlin stand in with one out and the bases empty in the inning. It was Cooper LeBlanc who lined out in foul territory, with Koch making that catch. A swing and a miss as McLaughlin goes down in the count 0-2. McLaughlin grounded out to second base his first time up. He's 0 for 1. Long pause in between pitches for Giancola as he and Lee look to get on the same page, and the batter is granted timeout. Now the 0-2 pitch, and it's on the outside corner for strike 3. Fourth strikeout now for Giancola. 3 of the 4 have been on called strike 3. And that will now bring up the cleanup hitter, Emilio Silva Rosa. Still just one base runner in the game to this point for Maine South. It was on the error charge to Joey McGee at shortstop last inning. So no hits to this point for post 341. It's a 1-ball, no strike count on Silva Rosa. And now that pitch fouled away to even the count at 1-1. Wind up and the 1-1 pitch hit on the ground towards shortstop. Gathered in by McGee. Low throw to first base. That's going to skip away. Takes a hard bounce off the chain link behind the first base bag. No further advance for Silva Rosa. It was going to be a bang-bang play at first base, so again, another judgment call play. We will score it for the moment. Another E6, second error on the Milford shortstop. Giving Jack Beauregard a chance in the inning. He takes the first pitch for a strike. Now carves one foul. Last time up, Beauregard sent a sinking line drive out into center field and was robbed of a hit by a terrific catch, courtesy of Brad Andriola. Nothing into the count on Beauregard here, with Silva Rosa out to a lead at first base. The 0-2 pitch is off the plate. Giancola back to the set. Runner takes off. 1-2 pitch is driven in the air out to right center field. This is trouble. It's in the alley. And Silva Rosa winding around third will score without a throw. A hit and run play on for Maine South, and it pays off as Beauregard drives in the run with a double. Silva Rosa scores, so all of this coming with 2 outs in the inning, as Maine South now will tie up the ball game 1-1. First hit and first run, so the Joey McGee error in the second inning was harmless. This one proves to be more costly, as the game is now tied, and the go-ahead run for Maine South in scoring position with Stephen Hebert at the plate. This ball lifted in foul territory down the left field side. Jack Krause gives it a look, but that ball was off into the trees, and will even the count at a ball and a strike. Reach the hour mark here, as the 1-1 pitch is in for strike 2. Looked like Lee was set up outside for that pitch. It came in, but nicked the strike zone. Here comes the 1-2 pitch, and this is a line drive over the reach of Eli Sylvia at second base. A stumble around third for Beauregard, but he will score nonetheless on an RBI single for Stephen Hebert. So all of this coming with 2 outs.
Now batting second baseman Cam Fenner.
First 2 batters of the inning retired, but the error opened the door. All of these runs unearned. And so now Hebert, the lone runner at first, as Cam Fenner pops this ball up behind home plate. Lee giving it a look, but that ball is over the backstop and takes a hard thud in the bleachers. Nothing in 1 the count. Fortunate that ball didn't come crashing through our canopy here behind the backstop. The 0-1 pitch misses outside. Quick snap throw from Lee down to first, but Hebert back standing up. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Runner at first base and 2 home now in the inning for Maine South. Two balls and a strike now to Cam Fenner. He grounded into an inning-ending force play in the second. And now sends a line drive to the opposite field in right. And Tyler Ballard able to make the catch for the out that ends the inning, but 2-out damage done for post 341. They score 2, and they take the lead in this game. It is now 2-1 Maine South over Milford. As we move on to the bottom of the fourth inning next on this coverage of Milford Legion Baseball here on Milford TV, presented by Rail Trail.
The Milford Legion Baseball Club would like to recognize and thank our diamond sponsors and our blue sponsors tonight. Our diamond sponsors, Frank's Appliance Service Incorporated and Milford Federal Bank. Our blue sponsors, Dewey Pest and Wildlife, Whitensville Monumental Works, Mass Real Estate Group, Butter's House, Easy Way Car Wash, Milford Lions Club, Oliva's Market, Greer and Hanlon Incorporated, Murphy Insurance Agency, Rockland Trust, Bright Agency, Jensen Sheehan Insurance, Blooming Hearts Roastery Cafe, Legion Baseball Boosters, the Beamer Sergeant Funeral Home, Milford Nissan, Watson Colonial Funeral Home, Area Glass, Murray Law Office, Signs Plus, Plains Auto, Jeans Variety, Paramount Industries, Great Milford Social Club, Conceiving Funeral Home, D&T Donut Shop, and DBA Honeydew Donuts. Now batting for Milford, number 17, our shortstop, Joey McGee.
Joey McGee starting off this inning, unfortunately for Joey, who is normally rock solid defensively at shortstop. His error in the top half of this inning opened the door for a 2-run rally for Maine South to take a lead in this game. McGee now sending a hard shot to third base that ricocheted hard off the glove of Braden Allaire. So McGee will reach. I have a feeling they'll give McGee the benefit of a hit there on that hard smash. It's a difficult play for Allaire. As now Jack Krause takes an off-speed pitch that misses for ball 1. So Milford in front in the hit column now 4-2. But a 2-1 lead in the game for Maine South, as this ball also eludes the glove of Braden Allaire at shortstop, and that one a little bit more routine, and should be an error that time on the third baseman. So that pushes Joey McGee safely down to second base. Krause safe on the E5. And now first pitch swinging. This ball laced over the reach of the second baseman. A hit for Burchard, and now the run charging home to the plate. McGee scores. It is an RBI single for Sean Burchard. And Milford immediately able to tie this game back up. It is 2-2. These Milford hitters swinging early in the count in this inning. I believe all 3 batters swinging at the first pitch. Meanwhile, Eli Sylvia looking to bunt on the first pitch of his at-bat, but he sends it foul down the first base line for a strike. Jack Krause is the lead runner at second with Sean Burchard at first, As this time Sylvia gets the bunt down. Pretty good one. The pitcher has to make the play. A double clutch, and the throw to first base is not in time. An excellent bunt pushed over towards the third base side. The pitcher, the only one who could make the play. Just a little bit of a double clutch there for Brady Fenner, and it made the difference as Sylvia beats it out for the bunt single. And Milford now has the bases loaded with nobody out in the inning. So a good response here at the plate for post 59 after surrendering the lead. They're able to tie the game, and now a golden opportunity for a big inning. With the bases full, Kraus at third, Burchard at second, Sylvia at first, and Brad Andriola about to come to the plate. But right now, Coach McCarthy out on the mound having a conversation with his starting pitcher, Brady Fenner. Fenner has had traffic on the bases in every inning, but was able to limit Milford to just the one run through the first three. But similar to what we saw against Eastside on Thursday last week, it's in the middle innings that Milford was able to make the adjustments and really capitalize at the plate. We'll see if that happens here in the bottom of the fourth. Andriola now in, swings at the first pitch and sends it foul off the backstop. And Andriola now pops this ball up down the right field line into foul territory. That continued to slice, leaving the playing surface and drifting off towards the concession stand. As we understand it, the concession stand tonight is stocked with some Italian goodies from Oliva's Market. As this pitch drops in for a called strike three, and so a good sequence there from Fenner. He's able to cut down Andriola on three pitches. A big first out. As now we will see Tyler Ballard take his first at bat of the game. Of course, Tyler batting now in the leadoff spot in the place of Nick Koch. Swings at the first pitch and pops it up out into shallow left field. Shortstop gave way to the left fielder Emilio Silva Rosa, who had to come streaking in to make the catch. And so a big turnaround now in the inning. The bases loaded with nobody out, and 2 outs later, the runner still frozen in place, and Milford now in danger of squandering a big-time opportunity here in the fourth. As these post-59 hitters continue to swing at the first pitch against Fenner. Staying very aggressive. Sean McGee hoping to do some damage here and not strand these bases loaded. McGee collected a double in the first inning, drove in the first run of the game. Now sends this ball on the ground back up the middle. Tricky hop for the second baseman, fires across his body to first base. The throw gets away. And Milford able to bring 2 runs to the plate as that ball dribbles off into foul territory behind first base. And so with a little help from the infield defense here for post 341, Milford is able to retake the lead. The score now 4-2.
Now batting is number 20 catcher Kiko Lee.
So I think that will likely go in the books as a single and an E4. They may give McGee 1 RBI on the play. Kraus and Burchard scoring on the play. Sylvia advancing to third with Sean McGee down to second base, as now Keith Lee sends one out into left field for a base hit. Sylvia scores. Here comes McGee hustling around from second base. He will slide in safely. It is a 2-run single for Keith Lee, and it's now Milford with some 2-out magic. It's a 5-run inning for Post 59 as they now take a 6-2 lead. Keith Lee is now the lone runner at first base. Errors have really played a big role in this game tonight. The 2 Maine South runs scoring thanks to an error at shortstop, and now 2 errors in this inning have helped Milford hang a crooked number, and now another booted ball by the third baseman, Braden Allaire, and right now it clearly looks to be in the heads of these Maine South infielders as this inning continues to go along. So Damian Carter reaching on the 3rd Maine South error of the inning, as Milford has now officially batted around in this inning. Joey McGee led off the inning with an infield hit, and now pops this ball up to second base. Cam Fenner able to make the catch for the out that will finally end the inning, but Milford able to score 5 times, again with a big assist from 3 Maine South errors. And as we transition now to the 5th inning, it is now Milford with a 6-2 lead on top of Maine South on this coverage of Milford Legion Baseball here on Milford TV, presented by Rail Trail.
Take out your blue 50-50 raffle tickets. And the winning number is 2, 6, 2, 6, 6, 3, 3. And the winning number is 2, 6, 2, 6, 6, 3, 3. Please go to the concession stand to collect your winnings.
Now batting number 7, Braden Allaire.
Has not exactly been textbook baseball out there on the diamond tonight. These teams have combined for 7 errors, 5 of them for Eastside. But meanwhile, Braden Allaire with an opposite field line drive through the infield for a base hit. And so reaching here, first pitch swinging against Josh Giancola.
Owen Cooney.
It is now a 6-2 Milford lead as we enter into the top half of the 5th inning. Milford now with 6 runs on 9 hits with 2 errors. Maine South 2 runs on 2 hits with 5 errors. been a game with a bit of a bizarre feel to it. Issues running the bases, defensive gaffes, and unfortunately, one very serious injury to Milford's Nick Koch. Allaire at first base here, an 0-2 count to the number 9 hitter, Owen Cooney. They will try to keep Allaire close. No 0-2 pitch and a wave and a miss. Cooney down by way of the K. That's 5 strikeouts now on the night for Giancola.
Now batting number 2, Ryan Flanagan.
And time to go third time through the Maine South order. Another at bat for Ryan Flanagan, who is 0 for 2 tonight. He has struck out and lined out. All quiet in the Milford bullpen right now as Giancola navigates this 5th inning of play. A 1 pitch, cuts inside. One and 2 now. Milford swept the season series against Maine South last year. They were able to shut out Maine South in both of those games. They actually played a doubleheader last season, played both of their games on July 6th. Milford won the first game 3-0, and then the second game 10-0. No shutout here tonight. Although Milford with the lead right now at 6-2. And a 2-ball, 2-strike count now to Ryan Flanagan. Next pitch from Giancola is swung on and missed. So back-to-back strikeouts for Giancola after Allaire led off the inning with a single. He remains at first base now with 2 down, leaving the inning up to Cooper LeBlanc. It was LeBlanc last time up that carved that line drive foul down the right field line. Nick Koch able to make an amazing catch, but unfortunately at a great cost, as he was down on the ground for several minutes before having to be helped off the field by paramedics. And LeBlanc now sending a shot through the left side of the infield for a base hit. Second hit of the inning, 4th hit of the game for Maine South. Runners at first and second base now for the number 3 hitter, Braden McLaughlin.
Number 3, Braden McLaughlin.
And this will bring about a mound visit from Milford's head coach, Steve DeVito. We mentioned it during our coverage last week. This is the 10th season at the helm of this Legion program for Coach DeVito. Took over for Brian Mackey in the 2014 season. Managed that team to an appearance in the Northeast Regionals and agonizingly close to a trip to Shelby, North Carolina in the Legion Baseball World Series, a bid that came up just short. And certainly one of the most memorable seasons of Milford Legion baseball I have had the good fortune to cover. And for our Milford TV fans, I think we'll pull some of those 2014 playoff games out of the vault, start airing them on our educational channel as this summer goes along. We'll share some more details with you once we get that set in motion. You can, of course, enjoy those games anytime by heading over to our YouTube channel. We've got a number of viewers enjoying this coverage live via YouTube right now. We have a whole Milford Legion baseball playlist with games that date all the way back to 2013. A lot of fun games to go back and relive anytime. You can head to youtube.com/MyMilfordTV or type MyMilfordTV, no spaces, into your search bar. This ball is hit on the ground underneath Giancola's glove, but it's backed up at second base by Sylvia. He taps the second base bag for the force play that ends the inning. So 2 hits in the frame for Maine South, but no runs scored. And through 4.5 innings of play now here at Pheno Field, it is Milford 6 and Maine South 2 on this coverage of Milford Legion baseball here on Milford TV, presented by Rail Trail.
The drawing will take place at the annual team banquet in August. You do not have to be present to win. A book of 6 tickets is just $20 and can be purchased at the concession stand. We'd like to recognize our executive and diamond corporate sponsors. Our executive sponsors tonight are Imperial Ford, Vendetti Motors, Gavinger Foundation, Sons of Italy Incorporated, the Dramatic Sportsman's Club, Wiley and Julian Oil Sources, Italian-American War Veterans, Shooting Star Photography, Unibank, Pepperoncinis, and the Rail Trail Flatbread Company. Our diamond sponsors, Frank's Appliance Service and Milford Federal Bank, Legion Baseball supporters, Macmed Spa, Lowell's Restaurant, Hickey's Wine and Spirits, Pins of Milford, Shaw's Milford, Craft Roots Brewing, Alicante Restaurant and Lounge. We thank you for your generous support. Now batting is number 2, Jack Krause.
Home half of inning number 5 here at Pheno Field in Milford. Tim Coette, Milford TV Executive Director, with you on the call. 2 of my outstanding Milford TV staff members along with the coverage tonight. Our Community Event Coordinator Chase Pettinelli directing tonight's coverage. Social Media and Marketing Coordinator Patrick Garapi manning the action camera down the first base line. As we settle into this bottom of the 5th inning, it is Jack Krause who leads it off, fighting up there at the plate with a count of 1 ball and 2 strikes. Krause reached base on one of the 3 Maine South errors last inning, came around to score as Milford hung a 5 spot on the scoreboard. Unfortunate for Maine South starting pitcher Brady Fenner. After the bases were loaded, he pitched well. Looked like he might just get out of the inning as this ball is dumped down the left field line. It's a fair ball and a base hit for Krause, who will hold up at first base with a long single. That's the 10th hit now of the night for post 59. Krause at first base. Now Sean Burchard steps in on the left side. Drove in a run with a single last inning. He is 2 for 2 in the game. Pair of singles. Watches that pitch miss outside. We are maybe about 5 or so minutes away from tip-off in Game 5 of the NBA Finals, and so as we continue to stay on the air through the conclusion of this game, we'll maybe sneak in a score update or two to see what's happening over at the TD Garden. But in the meantime, a 1-1 pitch is in for strike 2. Fans hoping the Celtics can shake off that no-show in Dallas a couple of nights ago. Chance to sweep the Mavericks, instead coming back to Boston for a Game 5. We'll start momentarily. In the meantime here, a 2-2 pitch, and this ball fought off. Good charge for the shortstop, Beauregard, and gets the throw over to first base. Good looking play there on the Maine South infield for out number 1. Kraus safely on to second on the play. The out goes 6-3. Now Eli Sylvia at the plate, making his 2024 debut in the lineup tonight, and is 2 for 2. He singled in the second and then reached on a bunt single last inning. And now this ball hit hard but foul past the third base bag. A bit breezier now as we get deeper into the evening here at Pheno Field. 1-1 pitch, and this is hit hard through the left side of the infield for a base hit. Coach DeVito waving the runner around. Here comes the relay throw. It's not going to be in time as Kraus scores, and the throw down to second base, not in time to get Sylvia. So Eli Sylvia having himself a night out of the number 8 spot. He's now 3 for 3.
Now up to bat is number 6, Brad Andriola.
His first RBI of the season as Kraus scores. That'll be a single for Sylvia. He took second base on the throw into the plate. And so now a 7-2 lead for post 59. And Brad Andriola now at the plate. He takes a look at strike 1. Brad hitless so far tonight, grounded into an inning-ending force play in the second. Struck out looking with the bases loaded last inning again. Milford loaded the bases. But then Fenner was able to fight back to get 2 outs. The errors started to creep in from there to really hurt Maine South, as now Andriola takes a look at that pitch right at the top of the strike zone, perhaps. So says the home plate umpire. Andriola frustrated as he heads back to the dugout. A quick at bat that time for Brad. He strikes out. It's the third strikeout of the night for Brady Fenner. Meanwhile, another mound visit, giving Tyler Ballard an opportunity to chat with head coach Steve DeVito, as the two right now walk all the way back over towards the first base dugout. And so it looks like we will have a pitching change here. As Brady Fenner will come out of the game. Seems like some
Steve, we're gonna lose the DH.
Corresponding defensive changes, and right now
Right fielder's gonna pitch. We're gonna lose the DH. Right fielder's gonna. Thank you.
and so just getting the word now from the field that Maine South will forego the DH for the remainder of the night. So Cooper LeBlanc will come out onto the field. As meanwhile, it is Owen Cooney, who comes in from right field to take over in relief. So I'm not sure if LeBlanc will take over for Cooney in right, or if there's some additional shifting defensively for Maine South. So Brady Fenner leaves the game after the strikeout of Brad Andriola. He gives up 2 more hits in this inning, along with the run.
Now pitching for Maine South is number 41, Owen Cooney.
So Fenner ends up going 4 2/3, allows 7 runs on 11 hits, although a few of those runs are unearned, as again, Maine South has committed 5 errors on the night. So the right-handed reliever Owen Cooney takes over, and Tyler Ballard with a swing and a foul ball to the backstop for strike 1. Second at bat of the night now for Tyler Ballard since entering the game. This is our first chance seeing Tyler at the plate this season. In any of the games that we covered for the Milford High School team during the spring sports season, Tyler was used only in a relief pitching role. Down in the count, 0-2. Now takes that pitch upstairs. Of course, Tyler has also been a fixture on the Milford High School basketball team. Just finishing up his junior year at MHS. And now a swing and a miss. And Ballard goes down swinging here, so that will wrap up the bottom of the 5th inning. Milford strands a runner, but they do put another run on the board. And we'll head into the later innings in this game with Milford leading Maine South by a score of 7-2 on this coverage of Milford Legion Baseball here on Milford TV, presented by the Rail Trail Flatbread Company.
To bat for Maine South is 38, Emilio Silva Rosa.
Josh Giancola returns to the pitcher's mound for the top half of the 6th inning. Emilio Silva Rosa, the first batter of the frame. Swings at this ball, sends it in the air out to center field. Just a couple of steps to his left. Andriola able to make the catch for out number 1.
Now batting number 9, Jack Beauregard.
Jack Beauregard now at the plate. He got Maine South on the scoreboard in the 4th inning with an RBI double. One of 2 runs that Maine South scored in the 4th inning to briefly take a 2-1 lead. So in each of these first 2 games of the season, Milford has found themselves trailing after the early innings, but just as they did last Thursday in that win against Eastside, able to generate a significant response. A 7-2 lead here for Post 59. Beautiful sky off in the distance with the setting sun here at Pheno Field. Just a gorgeous night all the way around. These early season games, when it is the very longest days of the year, just a perfect time to be out at Pheno Field to take in these Legion games. Here's a 1-2 pitch, and it's sent foul off of Beauregard's bat. Jack lined out in the 2nd inning before grabbing that RBI double in the 4th, so 1 for 2 on the night. And now holds up on the swing as that pitch drops in the dirt. Base is empty with 1 down in the top of the 6th. Long stare in for Josh Giancola. Here's his pitch, and that's in for strike 3. Half a dozen Ks now on the night for Josh Giancola as Milford gets another solid starting pitching performance. It was Colin Burchard in game 1, now Giancola here in game 2. One ball, no strike count now on Steven Ebert with 2 down and the base is empty. Quiet crowd now here at Pheno in these later innings. As that pitch buzzes inside, did it get a piece? It did. Got a bit of the arm of Hebert, so he will head down to first. And that will bring up Cam Fenner. No balls and 1 strike after the foul ball. A lot of work on the road as this week goes along for Milford. More on that in a moment as this ball is sent out to left center field. A base hit for Cam Fenner. And so these teams have had a penchant for 2-out offense here tonight.
Now batting number 7, Braden.
So after the first 2 outs were recorded here in the 6th, first the hit by pitch, now a single for Fenner, and it's 2 on. Now this ball hit on the ground, sneaks under the pitcher's glove, but it's gobbled up by Eli Sylvia, and he taps the second base bag for the force play that ends the inning. And so Giancola gets right out of the two-out jam, no runs allowed, and we will head on to the home half of inning number 6. It is still a 7-2 lead for Milford Post 59 here on this coverage of Milford Legion Baseball on Milford TV, presented by Rail Trail. Continues to turn into a picturesque night here at Pheno Field. Some shots even of the moon out now, as we have now seen the sun fully set off into the distance. Patrick Garapi continuing to bring us some scenic shots as we come back to action here for the home half of the 6th inning. A series of changes for Maine South as we get into this bottom of the 6th inning. All of the players remain the same on the field, but many shifting positions. Let's start on the mound, where Brady Allaire becomes the third pitcher utilized by Coach McCarthy tonight. He faces Sean McGee to begin the 6th inning. First 3 have missed the zone. We'll get to the corresponding defensive changes momentarily. 2, 3, and 4 hitters due up for Milford in the 6th. 3-0 pitch is in for a strike. McGee now sends this ball up the middle. Played at second base, low throw to first, but picked nicely on the back end by Stephen Hebert as McGee is retired. 4-3 on the ground out. So let's take you through the new defensive alignment for Maine South. Braden McLaughlin remains behind the plate. It is Owen Cooney now at third, Jack Beauregard at short. It is Brady Fenner at second, and Stephen Hebert at first. Left to right in the outfield, Cam Fenner now in left. Ryan Flanagan remains in center, and Emilio Silva Rosa now in right field. And an 0-1 count on Keith Lee, batting with the bases empty and 1 down in the bottom of the 6th. Foul ball to the backstop, and Lee is down in an 0-2 hole. Next pitch, that's off the plate. Now a ground ball hit down the third base line, but that is foul. Celtics have opened Game 5 of the NBA Finals on a 9-2 run. So already a better start tonight than what the Seas had in Game 4. Here at Fino Field, a 7-2 lead for Milford. One out in the bottom of the sixth, the 1-2 count on Keith Lee. The pitch from Allaire. That's inside. Lee able to get that left elbow out of the way. Just good news for Post 59. Getting bit by the injury bug here in the early days of their season. 2-2 pitch now, and this is hammered down the third base line. That's a fair ball. Down into the left field corner. Lee digging for second base. The throw is cut off, and it will be a stand-up double for Keith Lee as he celebrates around the second base bag.
Now batting number 13, Damian Carter.
Second hit of the game for Keith Lee. He's now 2 for 4, has a couple of runs batted in. And now a chance for Damian Carter. First pitch is in for strike one. Damian reached on an error his last time up. He is hitless in 3 at-bats tonight. And now a breaking ball that stays upstairs, evening the count at 1-1. So Brady Allaire, the third pitcher used for Maine South tonight. Brady Fenner went the first 4 2/3. Owen Cooney was used for just one batter to get a strikeout to end the 5th inning. Now Allaire retiring Sean McGee on a ground out before allowing the double to Keith Lee, who now has a big lead at second base. As the count goes to 2-2 now to Damian Carter. Second baseman playing just a couple of feet off the bag. Keith Lee still out to a sizable lead. Almost daring a throw as now Damian Carter sends a smash to third base. It is fielded cleanly. And the throw gets to first base in time to retire Carter. Keith had to hold up at second base. He's there now with 2 down.
Now batting number 17, Joey McGee.
And with 2 outs, Joey McGee now will stand in. Joey reached on an infield single and scored a run in the 4th inning. Overall on the night, 1 for 3. Milford looking to perhaps tack on an insurance run here before the 7th inning. But a 1-1 count now on Joey McGee. Now looks at strike 2. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. That pitch misses high, and a cloud of dust kicks out of the glove of the catcher, McLaughlin. Now a 2-2 offering, and that's down low. So full count now to McGee. Should he reach Jack Krause, would get an at-bat in the inning. Keith Lee once again with a sizable lead at second. Payoff pitch, and it's in for strike three. So Brady Allaire with a scoreless inning of work in the sixth. Milford cannot tack onto the lead.
On your way home, please be sure to tune in to
So they will carry a 7-2 lead into the seventh inning. It'll be a new pitcher on looking to close things out here for post 59. We'll tell you who it is when we come back next on this coverage of Milford Legion Baseball here on Milford TV, presented by Rail Trail.
He's now pitching.
Milford has a pitch and change. Number 16, Will Adamski.
JD, just tell him, sir, do we need to tell you, or are you good now? All set. Yeah, we're all set. Hey guys, up for JD, let's go.
It is the Hopedale product, Will Adamski, out of the bullpen to take over in the seventh inning. He replaces the starting pitcher, Josh Giancola, who was very good in this one tonight. As we'll get a look at some of the bench players here for post 341 in the seventh inning, starting with J.D. Fitzgerald. He bats in the number 9 spot in the place of Owen Cooney. Here's a 2-0 pitch, and that misses. 3-0 now. So Josh Giancola threw 6 innings of work, scattered 5 hits, allowed 2 runs, did not walk a batter, and struck out 7. He is in line to pick up the victory. It's a 3-0 pitch now from Adamski, and that's outside for ball 4. So after Giancola did not issue a free pass through his 6 innings of work, Adamski walks the very first batter he faces. As we see another pinch hitter now in Colin McCarthy. Colin, aside from being a part of this Maine South club, is also a very talented hockey player, so dividing his athletic time throughout the summer. And meanwhile, the first 6 pitches of this inning have eluded the strike zone for Will Adamski. Righty's next pitch. It's fouled off at the plate. McCarthy electing to go after that pitch after Adamski was struggling to find the strike zone. 2-1 now with Fitzgerald aboard at first base. Colin McCarthy batting in the place of Ryan Flanagan, who had gone 0 for 3 tonight. And now a 3-ball, 1-strike count. No further action in the bullpen right now for Milford. As that pitch is up high, Lee tried to pull it back to the top of the zone, but unsuccessful, and it's back-to-back walks for Adamski. And the Milford coaching staff now going to pay a visit to the mound. Saw pretty lockdown relief from Milford last week in their season opener after Colin Burchard had pitched 4 innings of 2-run ball. We saw Adamski come out of the bullpen and pitch a scoreless inning, allowed just 1 hit, and then Logan Brewster also appeared in relief, pitching a scoreless inning. But Adamski looking more shaky here than we saw a few days ago, and Milford now will get some more activity starting to go to work in the bullpen. And this time, Adamski able to start off with a first pitch strike to the 3rd straight pinch hitter to come to the plate here in the 7th. It is Simon Fullen, who bats in place of Cooper LeBlanc. So Coach McCarthy opting to give some of the bench players some game action in this inning as Fullen looks at 3 straight pitches and he goes down on strikes. So the conference on the pitcher's mound perhaps doing some good there for Adamski as he comes back. Strikes out Fullen on 3 pitches, and there's 1 down now in the 7th. Runners remain at first and second base. As Braden McLaughlin takes a look at ball 1. McLaughlin, the starting catcher, remains in his number 3 spot after a series of pinch hitters and now sends a rocket over towards the concession stand area. Fortunately, the crowd had thinned out a bit over in that area. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count now on McLaughlin with J.D. Fitzgerald at second base, Colin McCarthy at first, and now Keith Lee will verbally give the pitch call to Adamski as he jogs out to the pitcher's mound and back. Runners leading away from first and second base. Now the 1-1 pitch. It's lofted foul and out of play. And the next one from Adamski. That comes up and in. They check to see if McLaughlin was able to hold up on the swing. Seemed pretty clear that he did. The infield umpire agrees. Ready now with the 2-2 pitch. And it's hit on the ground to the right side. That's going to get through for a base hit. They throw up the stop sign on Fitzgerald at third. And so things getting a little bit shaky here now in the 7th inning as Maine South loads the bases with 1 out. They would need one more base runner to bring the tying run to the plate. But for now, it is a bases loaded situation as Emilio Silva Rosa comes to the plate. So 2 walks and now a single have loaded the bases for Maine South. And Silva Rosa swings at the first pitch and sends it foul out of play. Emilio tonight has flown out to right field, reached on an error and scored a run, and flown out to center field. So officially 0 for 3. Down on the count here, 0-1. A Maine South runner at every base. Here's the pitch, and another foul ball. Both dugouts quiet as Maine South tries to piece together a last-ditch rally. Here's the 0-2, and it's sent in the air and off the glove of the shortstop. It drops out into the left field grass. A run will score. Everyone had to hold up as it looked like McGee was going to make that catch, but it ticked off his glove. Fitzgerald crosses the plate to make it 7-3. And now the wheels really start turning as Maine South will bring the tying run to the plate in the person of Jack Beauregard. We'll give Silva Rosa the benefit of a single in our scorebook. Driving in a run. As ball 1 is issued to Beauregard. He has a hit in this game tonight. It is an RBI double that came back in the 4th inning. It was at a time where Maine South pieced a 2-run rally together that gave them a 2-1 lead. They now trail 7-3, but trying to mount a comeback in this 7th inning. As the count now goes to 2-1. Milford likely has another arm ready in the bullpen. We saw Jordan Martirano and Colin Burchard both making their way out to the bullpen as this pitch is swung on and missed. Brings the count to 2-2. Coach DeVito for now trying to show confidence in Adamski that he can pitch his way out of this jam. 2-2 pitch. And this is chopped on the ground back up the middle. A tap on the second base bag out there. Relay to first. The throw is dropped as another run crosses the plate. Milford nearly had a game-ending double play. The ball was hit very slow, a bounding ball up over the pitcher's mound. Sylvia was able to stab it. Tap the second base bag for the force out there. Would have been a bang-bang play at first base. But the throw tailed a bit. Sean Burchard couldn't hold on to it. The runner able to reach safely. It's now a 7-4 game with 2 outs in the inning, runners at the corners. And Stephen Hebert at the plate. So it'll go as a fielder's choice and an RBI for Jack Beauregard, as Colin McCarthy scored on the play. So Braden McLaughlin is now your lead runner at third base, with Beauregard at first. Emilio Silva Rosa was retired on the force play at second. And it's now an 0-2 count on Hebert. Next pitch from Adamski is grounded foul. Still very quiet in the Maine South dugout, despite the fact that their team has battled back for a couple of runs here in the 7th inning. Here is another 0-2 pitch, and it's a bouncer. And they will say that that got a piece of Stephen Hebert. That will allow him to trot down to first base. And in the end, it was a bit of a break for Milford, as if that had been a pass ball, we would have seen another run cross the plate. And so Coach DeVito out from the dugout, and he will have to make a pitching change here. And so Will Adamski brought into a 7-2 game, looking to close things out, but just could not shut the door. Had command issues early, could not put a lot of these Maine South hitters away, and now Coach DeVito goes back to the bullpen and will bring Colin Burchard into the game. So an interesting decision here, as we see Colin, who got the start here at Pheno Field last Thursday, now come out of the bullpen. His first warm-up pitch goes right to the backstop. So just 2/3 of an inning of relief for Will Adamski. Ends up allowing 2 runs on 2 hits. He also walked 2. Did have a strikeout and also hit a batter, and is still responsible for the runners on the base paths. McLaughlin at third, Beauregard at second, and Stephen Hebert, who was just hit by the pitch, who is now at first base. So another bases loaded opportunity here for post 341. The tying runs all on the bases. As Burchard continues to make warm-up tosses. And with a break in the action, we'll give one more update to the situation up at TD Garden, where right now the Celtics hold a 31-22 lead on the Dallas Mavericks with 10 minutes and 23 seconds to go in the second quarter. And Burchard now ready to face Cam Fenner. And gets a fastball past for strike 1. Fenner, the 8th Maine South batter to come to the plate in the 7th inning. A 1 pitch that stays upstairs. Maine South fans who made their way to Pheno Field tonight, hoping to see this rally continue. The Milford fans hoping to see this game come to an end right here. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Wave and a miss. Milford 1 strike away now. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, with the bases loaded in what is now a 3-run ball game. Fenner now set at the dish. And the pitch from Burchard is fought off foul. Maine South runners leading away from each base. As Burchard readies another 1-2 pitch, here it comes. And it's high, gets away from the catcher and takes a hard ricochet off the backstop. And Maine South, not wanting to make the final out of the game at home plate, elects to stay put on the bases. Milford really helped out by a hard bounce off the chain link to send that ball back in the direction of Keith Lee and keep those runners in place. It's a 2-2 count now on Cam Fenner as Milford hangs on in this game by their fingernails. Here is the 2-2 pitch, and it's in for strike 3. And that is how this ball game comes to an end. Getting very dicey in this 7th inning as Maine South scores a couple of runs. They load the bases, had the tying runs aboard, but Milford is able to hang on for the victory. They win this game by a final score of 7-4. Feels more like an escape, but Milford will take it at the end of the day. With the win, Milford improves to 2-0 on the season. With the loss, Maine South falls to 1-3. The victory will go to Josh Giancola, and in the end, I believe they will credit Colin Burchard with a save after inheriting that bases-loaded situation. So a victory here tonight for Milford. They'll do a lot of work on the road for the remainder of this week, and that includes a trip to their big Zone 4 rival Shrewsbury coming up tomorrow night. They'll play Post 397 up at Holy Cross at 7:30 tomorrow evening, so a great opportunity for Milford fans to see their team in action on the road. They'll also travel to Hudson and Northborough, as well as up to Worcester to take on Eastside, as they have an extended road stretch. Their next home game is scheduled, their next Zone 4 home game, I should say, is scheduled for June 25th against Northbridge. That is when we'll have you covered next here on Milford TV. So that'll be a week from tomorrow that we'll be covering the team again as they return to Pheno Field to take on another good rival in Northbridge. But that's going to wrap up the coverage here tonight. A big thank you to our Milford TV crew on hand. Our director for tonight is Chase Pettinelli, and our camera operator is Patrick Garapi. And I am Tim Coat. That final score, one final time, Milford defeats Maine South by a final score of 7-4. This has been a presentation of Milford High School Athletics here on Milford TV. So long, everybody.